All right, guys, we are live.
Oh my god, every time.
Well, yeah, I'll let you know if I ever come up with a better
One day you'll be
opening.
dead. You won't be able to say it. So I guess I'll just say, hey, everybody. Kai's dead. Welcome to the Theory of Living.
No, you're going to carry that, okay? You're going to say that after I die. You're going to
It's
start
with-
every podcast.
Hard news today.
We are live.
We're live. I mean, I'm alive because Kai's dead. He died. Because I murdered him with his stupid intros. Well, welcome back to the show. Glad to have you here. Thank you, all 2 listeners,
Mm-hmm.
Kai and Lafayette. Thank you guys for listening to us. We've obviously lost our minds because we keep doing this.
Right.
So, but exciting because today is the first day of our promotion.
Yes.
And
The first day of the first promotion.
Yeah. First promotion. We're giving away our bags of coffee for those that sign up at tier 2. So maybe you're one of those people that just wants to help out, buy a bag of coffee essentially for cheaper than what we sell it at retail.
Yeah.
And you can access all our content free, full videos, full audio, and give us some feedback. Maybe you like what you hear. Maybe you have some things you want discussed, or maybe you just want to shit on us relentlessly. We're open to all of it. Look, we're not haters,
Yeah.
only when we want to be, but we're open to any commentary, criticism, questions, or anything like that. And we just hope that you can enjoy the coffee because, again, it's something we're essentially giving. We're not making money at all on it.
Right.
We just thought this would be cool way to get people to check out the content
Yeah.
and also enjoy some of our coffee. And this is the first of many production batches to come, and we're going to we'll talk about that later, but we have a way different I guess strategy in mind. Strategy is not the right word.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, this batch alone is a standalone batch that won't be really related to the following products.
Correct.
Yes, but this was to basically just commemorate our podcast, the celebration, all that. So that's why we have a limited, number of bags of these coffees. So that's why we limit the newcomers to 300 instead of open number.
We only have so much production. So I guess with that out of the way, let's talk about what the Theory of Living is all about.
Yeah.
For those that are maybe new to the show, don't know Kai and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Just do a little deep dive.
We already kind of did this. I think episode
Episode
7, 8 was it 8? So and then we titled it as a theory of us. Basically, we talked about us. Where we come from. Why we quit our jobs and things like that. But
how we arrived to this situation.
yes,
A lot's changed in that time, though.
mm-hmm.
We've been doing this it's coming up on a year now,
Yeah,
and
Almost.
we've lived in Thailand for a portion of it. We've done a lot of traveling. We've podcasted out of vehicles all over the state,
yeah,
different countries. We've done
sure.
everything to make it work. So
yeah.
I think now we can kind of revisit and rehash what
Yeah.
we've gotten experience-wise and the direction of the podcast going forward.
Yeah, I think exactly that's what we're talking about. We'd like to talk about today is that what this podcast is about. I mean, what are we really focusing on, right? Rather than just purely about us, which was about what it was about the episode 8. But today we'd like to more talk about our podcast and things that we'd like to focus on, things of that nature, right?
So let's just start with the title, The Theory of Living.
Yeah.
For anybody to arrive at a theory, it's essential you live. And the largest part of living is accumulating experiences, getting knowledge.
Yeah.
We feel that so many times in life that we have this conceptual understanding of things that is so far from the experiential understanding. And so with that in mind, we're probably robbing ourselves of a large faction of reality or a part of reality unless we go and get that experience and then find out where the concept and reality meet and what comes of the two. So a huge part is encouraging everybody to go live their lives and discover their personal truths and revelations, because it's going to be different for you, just like it's different for us.
Yeah.
This just happens to be the byproduct of our path
Yeah.
and the journey we're on. So this podcast isn't necessarily even directed to a specific group of people. This is directed to humans in general.
Yeah.
And what we would like to offer to those people is just the information on how we arrive to the path. And that's why we usually don't give very specific advice, or we don't offer anything that's, I guess, generic, or we try not to. Or
Right.
we try to use the, asterisk, keep this in mind. This is applicable for our experience and what we've had. Because for you guys out there, maybe you're having a very different life.
Right.
Maybe you're having a very different experience. But there are a lot of common concepts that all these paths share. Overcoming difficulties, discovering and creating identity, relearning, unlearning. All these things are things. All these things are things, of course. All these are processes that we have to undergo in order to actually arrive to our own personal truth and revelation, which then in turn leads to destiny, your path, and it really changes your values, your morals, your ethics, and the way you view the world in a very splendid and spectacular way, where just, dude, our lives are so easy to navigate. Don't get me wrong, there's always hang-ups, blah, 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 but it's so clear about where we're going, what we want to do, and our openness to change on the fly.
Yeah.
And just take it a day at a time.
Yeah.
And that doesn't rob us of planning, goal setting, or anything else. It removes our ego so that we can actually lean into these things we want to do and adjust accordingly. And the amount of freedom that we've received in this, and we continue to receive by taking further steps upon this path, is, it's fucking work, but it's entirely freeing. And this type of freedom's paid for sweat, tear, blood, financially, blah, blah, blah. You pay for it with your whole life. And that's why it's so valuable, though. And it feels right.
Yeah, 100%. And, just like to add a couple of things to Gray's summary that you gave, is that we're not, it's not that we don't have any opinions about certain things. We do. If you watch our previous episodes on religion and philosophy and certain philosophers, we do have opinions, right?
Yeah.
And we're not saying that we're not going to give you any of our opinions. We will. That's why we got a lot of sometimes backlash, right? But I think what we like to focus on is more universal things, right? How we're born into these imposed, embedded ideas, and therefore we need to unlearn those things, why experiences are important for that reason. All those universal things are the things that we value more than specific topics or slanted opinions. That's what we're trying to say, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to put it in different words, because a lot of times we were asked what our podcast is about, right? We talk about everything. I mean, it's not just that we only talk about philosophy. We only talk about anthropology. It's literally everything. A wide range of any topics that are relevant. We think relevant in life. Sometimes it could be casual, dating or whatever. But anyway, all those things we still discuss with this emphasis on why experiences are important. Why experiential knowledge is important, understanding.
Preach it, brother. Preach it. Preach a good word.
I mean, that was our focus from the very beginning, don't get me wrong, but we kind of failed to do so, making that clear emphasis every episode. That's why we wanted to take this occasion as an opportunity to express our core knowledge and core values of this podcast, that we're not just talking about catchphrases. I mean, we can do that. I mean, they're so grabby, but at the same time, those are not. We actually talked about this.
We did
In one of our episodes, that those catchphrases are almost like irresponsible.
Yeah, the platitudes that there's truth that's only coming through the experience, and that person can then say that platitude, which is truth for them,
Yeah.
but it misses everything that led up to those words and the way they
Right.
form. So yeah, work hard. Yes, for some people, that is a very specific type of hard work that led to success. But if I'm telling you, the listener who's going through whatever you're going through, work hard does you no good. It's totally non-personal, non-specific, non-relatable. Quite frankly, it can just be, like you're saying, fucking insulting.
Yeah.
Just go work harder, man. How convenient.
Yeah, I mean, today's the last day, whatever. Things of that. Very radical statements. You know, the more the radical, usually the more grabby, right? Because people tend to get attracted to those radical statements.
Hell yeah, who doesn't want a binary world where one singular statement will fix my life?
Right.
That's not reality.
I'm not saying. I mean, some of the catchphrases are pretty good. You know, condensed in very unique ways, but also most of them, in my opinion, just because in the process of condensing a certain truth, usually you lose insights. You usually lose the important aspects of that truth. Those are lost usually when you try to condense that truth into a sentence, right?
I mean, you can be looking at it as a math problem. If you lose the entire equation and you only show the solution's meaningless without the equation and the variables and all the other, sums of the math problem.
Right.
Or even in troubleshooting. If I only give you the problem and not the context, there's really no truth. They're just words. They're meaningless. Truth can only exist in a contextual world, in a relative terms, in relative fashions.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be pushback, people out there that believe in absolute truths. And again, I'm not trying to shit on your absolute truths if you have them, but I would say that almost any belief, idea, or truth you have is usually built in some type of context. So we're referring to context is super important.
Yeah. And then also the truth could be very relative, right? And also there's, more difficult problems of unknowns, unable to be proved, things of that nature. So when we talk about our opinions, we're not apologetic, but we'll let you know this is an opinion, right?
Yeah, we'll do our best to.
Right.
And I get excited about some opinions I hold, and I can
Hell
get a little upset, but
right.
And I think the other thing, so you're sitting here on the couch, we don't have the most, I guess, commercially appealing.
Right.
But it's not because we can't do that. We've talked about this. This podcast and our discussions are conversational. These are the conversations you have in your car with your friends over drinks, blah, blah, blah. When you're laying in bed at night. I don't think either of us are trying to build this up into this very well-produced show where we have a script, everything's planned to the T. We know exactly the message we're giving you, because you and I both know reality looks fucking nothing like that.
Yeah.
People misspeak, they stutter, they use filler word, yes, we're going to try to work some of those kinks out for sure, just to be more effectively communicating with you and with each other. But again, we're just a couple dudes being bros, a couple bros being dudes, sharing our thoughts. And we have the background of quitting our engineering jobs and pursuing this because we think it's that important.
Yeah.
Again, like, you may not see the value, like, dude, you left a 6-figure job to go do your rinky-dink podcast on a couch. But here, I'm trying to explain it to you. I'm trying to explain it to you. Here's why. We see real value in this. And there's something out there for you you're going to see real value in, that your fucking job or whatever it is will come second. Yeah. And you'll be willing to make choices to go after that one thing. And that's what's exciting to tell you about really the theory of living is there are things like that out there for you. It's not bullshit. It took us 30 years to arrive at, 40 years to arrive at, but we always knew it was there, and continually searching. We're just hoping to maybe help identify some of the tools that can be useful on this path, to identifying your path, and then just discuss them open-endedly.
Yeah.
I think it's our job to ask why we believe things or how we've arrived at beliefs.
Yeah.
And really wrestle with these concepts and kind of modernize philosophy. And again, a lot of things we say, yes, we're pulling from works we've read, experiences we've had, and we're not trying to plagiarize or do anything like that or misrepresent our ideas or conflate our ideas with somebody else's.
Yeah.
But this is the byproduct of being human. We're bound to the history we have, the experiences we've had. And so again, we're just trying to put it into a condensable format and share it with you.
Yeah.
And we're open to it, man. We're open to you, and we want to hear your thoughts, your feedback.
Yeah.
Because there's such a better life out there that most people aren't living because they're totally unaware that it's real or unaware of how to arrive to this place where they can even begin the hike on the path.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why this podcast doesn't have a script. Sometimes that's why we may appear to be ineffective in communication or not conveying our ideas in the best way, just because we don't have the script. Doesn't mean that we talk about things that we have no idea of. It's just that, like you said, it's just natural human aspects, right? You make mistakes. Sometimes you don't talk like one of those great speech orators like Obama or
Hitler,
whatever. We're not like.
Wait, did we just say Hitler was great?
I actually don't know that. But anyway, we don't have scripts. We just basically record our podcast anywhere we are in. That's why we don't have a studio. We don't like to have a studio yet, at least, because we like to we value experiences, and for that reason, we like to travel, go to new places, experience new things. That's why sometimes we're recording our podcast in the car, outside in the van, whatever, right? So that's why we don't have our proper studio. We just have bare minimum gears, camera, tripod, 2 mics. We just got extra mic just in case we have the interview. We've done interview twice so far.
Yeah, we've done
Josh and
interviews,
Pong, the city monk in Thailand. Check it out if you're curious.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But it's gonna be this format. We may improve or adjust according to, I guess, our fans' needs, or if we feel the need to adjust or change for better communication or better format, whatever. But more or less, this is going to be the case, right?
Yeah. I think we're also trying to, maybe not so much intentionally, but want to attack the concept that a podcast has to look or sound a certain way to provide useful information.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a lot of these polished podcasts where they've got their studio, they're all talking about the same dumb shit that everybody else is talking about. They're just fucking spouting nonsense and doing it in a commercially viable way. I'm not trying to be a hater. Everybody's out there crushing it in some way, trying to get it ahead, but you have to honor yourself and be uniquely you. You just have to be yourself. Like, find your own art and then try to work it. And our art is growing and changing. And again, this is nobody in mind when I say that, but we know for us that is not the right way. That's not the path. So we can't sell out.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that actually. So today is the first day of our promotion on Patreon.com. So we are a Patreon creator. We've been releasing short versions, free versions, basically 1/4 of our usual conversation on YouTube and Spotify and all the platforms. But the reason we are on Patreon is that we don't want to be the sellouts. We don't want to have sponsors. We don't want to be swayed by some influences. So basically, no ads, nothing. Then how do we do this? We don't have jobs, right? So we need to have some amount of income to continue this path. And we have a love for this podcast. We love to continue this as long as we can. That's why we're on Patreon, right?
And we're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
We're getting jobs, guys. We're applying for jobs at this point. So even if we never make money, this is something we will continually do.
Right.
Because we've gotten great feedback. It adds value to people's lives. And I mean, what more could you want?
Right.
Than to add value.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to sell you shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I'm not trying to sell you shit. I'm not trying to sell you bullshit you don't need. I understand that's messed up.
Yeah.
And I get it. A lot of people really would just want to do podcasting or whatever their line of work is, and they're willing to kind of maybe, for them, maybe it's not a compromise. They're willing to sell you something that you potentially may not need in order to continue their line of work and their job. Yeah. And you might be thinking, well, you're asking me for money for Patreon. Look, I'm only asking you to do it if you find value in it, or if you think we can have conversations that can lead to value.
Yeah.
If you see some like benefit in it, I'm not asking you to get something that's only going to add more shit to the world.
Right.
You know? Consumerism, capitalism. We get a whole big argument about that. Fucking anarchy, baby. But that's not where this episode's going, because you freebies are out of here. I'm so rude to the. I'm actually. I hope you know I'm joking with you guys, but seriously, you gotta go, man. So, free version's done.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Patreon, tier 2. Get your free $20 bag of coffee. It's 12 ounces. Smells great. Tastes great. It's whole bean, so you gotta grind it. And dude, check out the other content. Maybe you like it. Maybe you don't. So you just subscribe for 1 month, get your coffee, unsubscribe, see ya, leave some hate mail. We love it. We'll respond to you and keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, flip side, you're going to love it. You're going to want to comment. You're going to say things. And then we'll start talking about these things. And then we're all going to hang out and we're going to have a good time. Because that's what we do. We hang out with people. Have good times, man. Get out there, experience life.
Yeah. Check out more information on our Patreon page. At patreon.com/thetheoryofliving. Yep.
Perfect. See you, freebies.
Guys. Thank you. Bye.